welcome to Woman Crush Every Day, where we discuss queer media, especially when it's black and especially when it's woman. I'm your host, Allison, aka Al Wu.
And I'm your host, Tang B, aka Sean B. Scribe.
And on today, we're going to be talking about Harlem Season 2, Episode 2.
Deuces!
Yeah, but before we get into all of that,
make sure you subscribe. It's new shows coming out. You don't know what we're going to do, what we're going to talk about. So make sure you subscribe so you get the updates when we start talking about stuff. So,
because it's new content dropping like bang, bang,
bang,
boom,
bang,
bang,
bang. Ride the wave with us. Tune in, talk with us. We're happy to have you here.
Absolutely.
And with that, let's get into the episode.
All right. So, Amazon, this season, they're releasing these as like twofers. So every week they're dropping 2 episodes at a time. So we did watch 2 episodes at a time. If you haven't seen our review of episode 1, make sure you go check that out.
Yeah.
But episode 2, favorite moment.
Oof. Okay.
What was yours?
Favorite moment is probably what should be my least favorite moment, but it took me back to what I've lived through, which is bad queer poetry shows. I've been to many. I've been to good ones. I've been to excellent queer poetry shows, and then I've been to the other ones.
You've been to the ones that were in this episode.
You know, somebody screaming about what their pussy is going to do, their politicized pussy that's going to knock down walls and fight through government and, you know, just making pussy as unsexy as possible is pretty much what the goal of these nights are. To just take all the fun out of sex and make it into a protest, which, you know, just drains everybody, takes your energy away, and
that's hilarious.
So yeah, just the scene, being able to see these women who believed in what was the name of the site? Celesbian.com. Believing that Celesbian.com will lead them to a good place. You know, I've definitely been the one to check out the queer magazines, newspapers, you know, leaflets, Instagram pages, websites, and every so often you find a gem, but most often you just end up in the place with everybody else who don't know where to go. Lots of love there. Lots and lots of love there. Not so much talent. Just gotta put it out there. Just gotta be real. I do want to say that I hate the way that all shows kind of shit on poetry and spoken word as like the worst thing you could choose to do with your night, because there are so many good artists out there. You know, I'm just saying, like former poets, you know, on the stage. Current poet, you know, although not on the stage as much. Yeah, but the scene was hilarious, and I'm glad that Isabella was like, we got to get out of here. And I'm glad that Quinn wasn't so caught up in her new dykeism that she couldn't let go.
Coined it here on Woman Crush.
Right.
New dykeism.
What was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene from this episode was the moment when Angie just got back from her sexcapades with all those dudes, but she's back at home, and Quinn comes out to share her night with Isabella and how great it was.
The first time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
cool.
This is at the top. Yeah.
The second time it got real sad.
Yeah. But yeah, I always love an opportunity to speak on the joys of women-loving women relationships, and it felt like a little commercial, you know what I'm saying, for Angie to be like, hey sis, join the team, you know what I mean? And I don't think I don't really believe that it works like that, but I do feel like it was just like affirming, especially in contrast to some of the other things that happen, you know. And I feel like I kind of want to, there are some other things that I want to get into, but I'm going to save them for queer canon.
Yeah.
But just to have a moment to celebrate women loving women relationships.
Yes, and the multiple orgasms that can come with them.
You know, and outside the bedroom and all that stuff. But yeah, that was my favorite moment.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, I love their family time for Angie and Quinn. Very cute. Definitely a good moment. And Quinn was so excited. And That's awesome. That's awesome to have had a good first
And then they
experience.
went back, too. And, you know, the band was just like, bye, bitch. I was like, this is hilarious.
Yes.
I love it. Yes, round 2.
Yes.
Yep.
All
so,
right.
who was your woman crush for this episode?
Oh, man. I want to give it to Zoe because she's so cute. But personality-wise, I think I have to give it to Isabella. You know, Zoe is out here trashing. We'll get into that later. Isabella is out here not necessarily trashing. I think just trying to have a career, you know, just trying to like win this seat for office. And I really appreciated her honesty. Clearly, Quinn did not. Right. But I appreciated her honesty, her wanting to take things slow, her wanting to still show her interest, but also know like what she needed for herself. Because I feel like so much of what we see about what queer relationships are supposed to be, you see this woman who just like completely falls in, and then their world only consists of their love. And it's just like, no, they have careers, they have other ambitions outside of their relationships, they have ambitions that happen while they're in relationship with folks, they have relationships they leave to pursue those ambitions. And I appreciate it. Yeah, just what Isabella brought to the table as far as being upfront about where she was with things.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to have to second that. I'm really not on Team Zoe just yet. I'm also trying to figure out what is representation.
Yeah.
Especially dark skin representation, dark skin lesbian representation. I'm like, hey, where we at? You know? So, I'm going to go back. I mean, honestly, I think Grace Byers. Quinn is acting her ass off in these moments, and like just I don't know, the way that playing with the sexuality or like learning. I think the portrayal of it I think feels like really authentic, and so there's that piece of me that's like Grace Byers is my woman crush in these episodes, but I think Isabella definitely, like the portrayal of somebody who's like, hey, look, we're not dating, and it's healthy to not U-Haul and do all the extra stuff and just focus on self. That personality woman crush definitely goes to Isabella.
All right, what can stay, what can go for you?
I mean, I want more Quinn and Isabella. Honestly, I wanted to come up with a name for them. Yeah. Quizabella. I don't know.
That's cute.
You know, that's where I'm at. And so I want that to stay. I was really having fun with that. And I think that I just feel like there was so much more to discover. But I don't know. Outside of that, Ty and Zoe, you know, there's something that's like, okay, or how much are we going to build with this relationship? How much time do we have where folks, I don't know, do they challenge each other, you know, and really break through and reach whatever levels they need to reach? I don't know. We checked out the cast listing for this, and we saw that, we saw the show too, but just to see the name, Rachel True was the actor who plays Amy, who sells Ty the cactus and the flower shop. Yeah. Found out, and we're in our little research, that Amy is going to be in this for 5 episodes. So I've been a fan of Rachel True for quite some time. Just thought she was the cutest thing on, in my baby dyke days. So like before I really knew what was going on, what were these feelings, but her on Half and Half, her on, what was that movie? Love Song with Monica and Christian Kane. Oh my God, she played the friend. It was great. Had a great time. So I love seeing a Rachel True. Actually, I'm going to throw her honorable mention. Boom, woman crush, because I need that. Yep.
And she know how to take care of plants.
And she's got a green thumb.
Yeah.
So that can stay. What can go? I didn't get into that. Obviously toxic relationships can go. Not a fan. What else is whack? The queer baiting. I definitely feel a little queer baited with Quizabella. Yeah. And that's it. That's my can go. All right. What can stay? What can go for you?
Well, I'm definitely hoping we weren't queer baited. I'm hoping that Quizabella comes back around. You know, I think Quinn was really kind of misreading the whole situation, kind of caught up, but I'll come back to that in Queer Canon. What else can stay? Angie telling the truth to these men out here. I don't be worried about the men in these shows, except when they start getting on my nerves.
Harlem
and then
Skills.
I'm like, yes. So when she said Harlem Skills is drying out my pussy. Best line ever.
Yeah, that was good.
There are plenty of women out here acting like they got Harlem Skills that do not as well. So, the critique can go around to many. So that can stay. I love the truth telling that's happening in this episode. What can go? I mean, all of these friends are pretty bad at relationships. Like,
look at him trying to make a guest appearance.
You really are. Truffle.
Go sit down.
Lay down. Okay. Good boy. So all of the friends are, pretty terrible at relationships. And so I feel like there's no good advice to get from anyone. So I hope that they all grow over the course of this season. Otherwise all of that is gonna have to go. What else can stay? I am interested to see more Zoe. I'm very impressed with how Zoe has already one-upped Ty on being more fucked up. She had the clothes on, ready to go. She's got the tricking down to a science. And, as much as that's trash, it's kind of admirable trash. And so I'm interested to see what Ty can learn about what not to do. How to be maybe less trash by getting trashed on herself. We'll see what happens. And yeah, Amy, Green Thumb can come back in. She can stay. Yeah, that's what I got.
All right. So, last question. Where does Harlem Season 2, Episode 2 fit into the queer canon for you?
Oh, man. I mean, I think this is a canon story about what happens when U-hauling, or you think you about to U-haul, goes wrong. You show up with the U-haul and you find out you ain't even got a key to the place. Because it's not your place.
I felt that. So. I mean, not on a personal level, but the way you said it. That didn't happen.
Yeah, Quinn really, I think what she has to learn in all her relationships is just to slow down. The fact that she thinks she got broken up with for a relationship that never existed, like, you're not in a relationship. Y'all aren't a couple, so she can't break up with you before you become a couple, and going on 2 dates doesn't make you a couple. And I feel like there's some healthy recentering that needs to happen. And Quinn, I'm really confused. I'm not confused. I have been there. I have been that person.
Okay.
But what you must learn, Quinn, is that if you don't take your time and get to know somebody, you're going to end up with somebody who will break your heart unknowingly, just spring some on you that you're not expecting because you didn't take time to get to know who they are, what they're trying to do. The fact that Isabella had to keep reminding you that she's running for office says that you're not paying attention to her. You're paying attention to you. And I think that's selfish. And I think she was right to not want to speed things up with you, but to keep it where it was, which is like, y'all were having a good time, fucking around, having dates. And she seemed to really be caring about you and still giving you time, but also thinking about the time that she's going to owe to all of her constituents who hopefully vote for her. We'll see what happens. Maybe she'll lose the election and have lots of time for you. Maybe they'll do something stupid like she quits the campaign to be with you, romantic type thing. I don't know. But all I know, Quinn, is you're going to have to learn how to slow down, baby. And that we need in the queer canon. Because we don't need people thinking that U-Haul is the only way.
All right. Come to Woman Crush for a testimony.
Testify.
Okay? Amen. You have come out of that.
I've come out of that. I am a new boo. Okay.
Born again.
Yes. Amen.
Okay.
What about
that's
you?
What's up. Let's see. I'm gonna say queer canon for me in this episode. Honestly, by the end of this episode, I like Harlem. I'm having a good time, but I do feel like the read that Harlem is doing of lesbian culture is a little harsh.
It's brutal. It's
A
brutal.
little harsh. Like, you know, I know that you really love the scene in the poetry club, and it was funny. I understood it, but I feel like if you really like stack up all of the portrayals of lesbian culture, it's not cool. Like, it very much looks like your clubs suck. They're a bunch of like old people, and this is not to say that old people can't be sexy, but I mean the way in which you portrayed it, you know, there was nothing sexy. Y'all weren't trying to play these older people up as sexy. You're all trying to play them up as weird and ew, we need to get out of here, yuck.
Yeah.
So like, you totally bagged on lesbian culture there. When you talk about U-hauling and all that stuff, it's like, ugh, you know, that's what lesbians do. It's just no discernment. Maybe is that the word that I want to use?
Yeah.
I mean, the resident lesbian that you have in the core friend group is trashy Ty. Like, that's literally Ty's name.
Yeah.
On She Be Toxic, and it's running She Be Toxic. And so we learned that She Be Toxic isn't just for lesbians. At first, they kind of like set it up like you're thinking like, okay, this is just for lesbians. No, but like, Professor Parks is also on this. So it's like, this is for anybody. And the two most like realized names on this website are the black lesbians on this. So I'm like, as toxic. So it's like, we have no emotional commitment. We have, even in Quinn's case, in her being bisexual and like finding herself, it's just like so like selfish. It's not really aware. It's just you know,
I'm
whatever.
Of the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah, it's very much like, what is this to you, and what does it really mean? So I think, where does this fit in queer canon for me? I think this feels like a lot of the like subtle digs on queer culture that you see in a lot of mainstream media. And the way that the things are presented, where it's just like, oh no, it's quick, it's lighthearted, oh, it's just like funny, that's just how queer people are. It's just like, no, this like burns into our subconscious and into people's subconscious of who LGBTQ people are. And I think we need a better looking commercial. I think it's completely unfair that the best looking commercial for this same-sex relationship was just a total tease, was just a total bait, and it's not even a real relationship. It's not based on anything. Quinn didn't base this on anything. Literally didn't base it on anything. So I just want I want to see more. I want to see better and less shallow representation of lesbian characters and women-loving women characters. Because, yeah, where it fits, it just feels very like, do y'all love us? Or are you just, like, putting us in here because you have to now? It's 2023. You know? That's where I am.
I think that's totally fair. And, you know, I do think, like, when it's just women loving women getting together and making fun of ourselves, that feels very different than when the audience is going to be primarily straight, you know, and maybe not have relationships with women loving women, to see like what is the actual diversity of what's happening there. I'm hoping that this is like where we're starting and not where we're ending season wise. I hope this is a setup for some like character growth and building and having somewhere to go. But yeah, it's unfortunate that we have Quinn, who is brand new and learning, and Ty, who is seasoned in her bullshit. I'm happy to have two queer characters, but I'm also, you know, hoping the characters continue to evolve and maybe be people who are crushable.
And, you know, I don't think that queer characters need to be perfect characters. I just feel like season 2, episode 2, 1 and 2.
No, there were a lot of digs. There were a lot of jokes, you know, at the expense of us. Outside of just who the characters are, there were a lot of digs. So I think you're legit in what you're saying. I hope y'all make up for it. You can help make up for it by giving us more Amy, Zoe in a not fucked up way, and Ty got to figure this bullshit out, and then we need Quizabella back. So it's just a 4-point plan. If y'all can get that together, we here for the long haul, not the U-Haul.
The long haul, not the U-Haul. See, there we go. I like how you did that.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Well, that's our review on Harlem Season 2, Episode 2. If you felt the same way or felt differently, go ahead, light up these comments, and we'll get back with you. Right. And until next time,
peace.
Peace.